Plus, it was a surprising turn of events in the Ed Graff Jr. retrial. Why Graff decided to accept a plea. We'll have that story coming up.
And the NBC cameraman that contracted the Ebola virus is going home today. Great news. We'll update you on his condition and the details on the new Ebola czar who starts his job today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Texas today. Hope your Wednesday is off to a great start. We've come to the midway point of the week. I'm Chris Radcliffe.
And I'm Jane Lonsdale. And that nice weather is still continuing, Chris.
Yeah, we were in the 80s on Monday and Tuesday. It's going to continue today. Patrick says maybe a slight warm up before we get a cold front. But again, these things are all being taken in proportion. The warm up is just a couple degrees. The cold front just a little bit turning colder.
Right, that's very true.
Yeah, nothing bad. Patrick, give us more details on our lovely Wednesday ahead.
Well, we do have a nice mid part of the work week. Jane and Chris, temperatures will be slightly warmer than average again. We'll have some clouds early on. I'm going to have the cloud cover in the forecast for the morning time. 59 the wake up temperature on your bus stop forecast. 76 by lunchtime, and then highs getting up to 82. Notice the cloud cover, though, breaking up for sunshine throughout the day. I'm not going to go overcast, but definitely a lot of cloud cover early on in the morning. There's also some light shower activity showing up on the radar. We're looking at San Saba County this morning, moving towards the east and northeast at a very slow pace, but it looks like it's going to impact Mills and Lampasas County here over the next 30 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on that shower activity. It's very light, it's not very heavy, and definitely not severe. I think most of the rain will be very light and off to the west of I-35 this morning. We do have cloud cover, though. That's continuing to push into the region this morning, so we'll start out with a mostly cloudy sky. We've got temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s, but I mentioned this earlier in the newscast. A big warm-up is on the way this weekend. You don't want to miss my 7-day forecast. I'll have that coming up in about 10 minutes. That's the latest here. Jane, back to you.
All right, Patrick, thanks so much. A court hearing is held for a suspected serial killer who has ties to Central Texas. 43-year-old Darren Van was arrested in Hammond, Indiana on Friday night after authorities found a woman strangled to death at a Motel 6. Police say Van confessed to killing the woman in Hammond, then confessed to killing 6 other people in Gary, Indiana. That hearing this morning will take place at the jail where Van is being held. He is charged with 1 count of murder. Charges are pending in other cases. Van also spent 5 years after sexually assaulting a woman in Austin back in 2009.
Meanwhile, back here in Central Texas, I was so surprised when I got this on my KCEN Twitter feed yesterday. Murder suspect Ed Graff decided to plead guilty to killing his 2 young stepsons back in 1986. While the jury was deliberating, Graff will now serve 2 concurrent 60-year sentences with time served for back time. That means the 25 years that he has already served will be applied to each term, including the 1.5 years that he spent in the McLennan County Jail. Graff's son had strong words for him in the courtroom.
Not a father. You are not a man. May God have mercy on your soul, because no one on this earth should.
You know, obviously we were hoping that it was going to turn out completely different. We were hoping for a not guilty.
Now, in accordance with the plea deal, Ed Graff is already eligible for parole. The McLennan County Criminal District Attorney's Office said in a statement released yesterday that they were indeed pleased with the results in the case.
Well, the Baylor intramural football team is off the field after giving themselves what some say is a racially charged team name. The students donned the name Ferguson Police Department. School administrators immediately benched the team when they found out about it. Department heads who approved the team name said they just didn't connect it with the Ferguson, Missouri Police Department. That department is surrounded with controversy after the fatal shooting of 18-year-old Michael Brown.
Could go through so many boards, so many undergrads, grads, faculty and staff, and no one said this is a problem. It was shocking.
Were they all innocent? No. But were most of them taken by surprise when we had them Google it and find out what it was? Yes.
Now, as of now, school administrators have not decided when and if the team will be able to play this season. And police have identified the Killeen woman who was shot and killed in her driveway earlier this week. Police say that woman is 64-year-old Christine Watkins. The shooting happened Monday in the 1400 block of Pine Drive. Watkins worked for Killeen ISD for 35 years. So far, no arrests have been made in that case.
A man wanted for murder in West Texas was arrested in Temple. 22-year-old Venchar Douglas was wanted for a shooting in Odessa. That left 1 person dead back in March. Temple police and the U.S. Marshals have arrested Douglas at his home on Olaf Drive in Temple this week. He'll remain in the Bell County Jail without bond until he's transferred back to West Texas. And the Copper's Cove man who allegedly jumped the White House fence has been found incompetent to stand trial. This all comes after former Fort Hood soldier Omar Gonzalez underwent a forensic mental health screening. The judge ordered a full psychological evaluation to be completed in the next 30 days. After scaling the fence, Gonzalez made it all the way inside the White House. He faces multiple charges, including entering a restricted building while carrying a dangerous weapon, allegedly a pocket knife. He pleaded not guilty earlier this past month. And the legendary Washington Post editor who led the paper through the Watergate scandal has now died. Ben Bradlee became the managing editor of the Washington Post back in 1965 and later became the executive editor. Bradlee was at the helm of the newspaper for 26 years. The Post says the paper's circulation nearly doubled while Bradlee was in charge. Last year, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Bradlee died at his home from natural causes. He was 93 years old.
Well, there's an update on the freelance photographer who contracted the Ebola virus while working in Liberia. Ashoko Mukpo is leaving the hospital today after being declared free of Ebola. Mukpo was working for NBC News in Liberia when he was diagnosed with that virus. He was flown to the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha on October 6th and treated in the biocontainment unit. The CDC confirmed the negative blood test, so Mukpo is free to return home to Rhode Island today. And nurse Nina Pham's condition has been upgraded to good. 26-year-old Pham has been receiving treatment for Ebola at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland since last Thursday. She contracted the deadly virus while treating Thomas Eric Duncan at Texas Health Presbyterian in Dallas. He later died from the virus.
The Centers for Disease Control will issue an update today on the nationwide outbreak of enterovirus D68. At last count, 7 people in the U.S. have died after being diagnosed with the illness. The CDC cautions that this doesn't mean EVD68 was the cause of death, just a link. There have been 938 confirmed cases of enterovirus D68 so far in 46 states. And it's something you don't see every day. A 1-month-old bear cub roaming the aisles inside a Rite Aid in Southern Oregon on Sunday. Yeah, that would get your attention. His first stop was a local motel, which he entered through an open door. Nothing there held his interest, so he just hopped out a window, crossed the street, and walked into the Rite Aid like he owned the joint. Police scooped him up in a shopping basket. The cub's now under the care of the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. His contact with humans means that he can't go back to the wild, so it's off to a rehab center or a zoo. I found out what he was looking for. You know what he was looking for here? Some bare necessities. It's those bare necessities.
Those what you did. They're snacks, you know. He was hungry.
Maybe so, and curious. But I guess because of the smell of humans on him and whatnot,
right.
He would now be dangerous. His life would be in danger to other bears. So send him off to a zoo, fatten him up, let him live a happy life.
There you go. What a cute little thing, too. All right, 6:07 is your time. Still ahead. After reports of intense hazing on a New Jersey football team, the coaches have been benched. We'll have those details coming up.
Yeah, what is going on there? Plus, at 6:07, it is time to step outside and check your weather forecast. You know, Jane, inside a couple of weeks here, we'll be seeing sunshine at this time of day. We're not there yet. We fall back on the first Saturday in November, that being the 1st. Meanwhile, Patrick says we have nice late summer weather, not even fall-like weather. It's going to be in the low 80s again today. Details on the way. A very happy birthday to Greg Hawkes, keyboardist of the Cars, born on this date in 1952. We're back with Patrick's forecast next.
This is Texas Today with Chris Radcliffe, Jane Lonsdale, and weather with meteorologist Patrick Crawford. KCEM HD News. Start here. Expect more.